My name's Doug Noblet. I live at Palestine, Illinois. We have a grain farm about 1,100 acres. I guess I'm a fourth generation farmer, and I custom harvest seed corn. I just enjoy the thought of growing a crop and being able to help feed America. I know it sounds kind of corny, but it's true. My son, he's in college. All he wants to do is farm also. It's getting to be a more difficult occupation as time goes on, but it's like the harder it gets, the more determined we get, and we just want to keep going. We were hit by a F3 tornado March 31st. They were talking about a chance of tornadoes all day, and we just went about our business. Thought, well, those things will break up and go around or whatever. And I was at my shop here where I'm sitting now, working late. My girlfriend called and said, you should really come home because they're not just talking about a tornado warning somewhere, it's on the ground and it's at Oblong about 10 miles away. So I drove a half mile down the road to my house. The sirens started going off and grabbed a couple bottles of water and went down in the basement, and that's about when we started hearing a rumbling. I'd have probably still been sitting in here on my phone if she wouldn't have called me. It kind of was blowing over. My niece called, and she lives right across the road from where I'm sitting, and she said, our house is hit, can you come help us? Went into panic mode. I didn't know if they were hurt or not, so grabbed the keys to my son's truck and took off down the road, and I didn't see a large tree had blown over on the road, and I drove right into the tree. So totaled out my son's truck, and luckily I came out uninjured. Then my niece called me and said they had got out of the house, and I said, well, come help me get out of my truck. So get around power lines and stuff. Anyhow, we finally made it back to my house and everybody was okay. Wiped out all of our buildings, hurt our farm machinery. No one was hurt right here in our immediate area, but there were, I believe, 7 people killed in the tornado at another town. Spent the night at the hospital getting x-rays and CAT scan on my neck, but it turned out I was okay. There were power lines down everywhere, so they told everybody not to drive. Got back from the hospital, it was about daylight, slept quite a while, and when I got up, there were probably 80, maybe 100 people from our town. Some people I knew really well, some people I've never seen before. They were out there with four-wheelers and little trailers picking up debris. It was just amazing. Farming's very stressful anyhow, but something like this is just devastating. We don't know what to do next or how to approach the cleanup, the dealing with the insurance companies and trying to line up machinery to use. The tornado itself is one issue, but trying to get our crop in the ground and make our annual income is a whole nother issue. It makes it twice as hard. Farm Rescue, Ben got a hold of me. A farmer that I know well had contacted them, and my name had come up as one of the victims, and stopped by the next day, and he said obviously we had a serious situation and that they could help. They had equipment and volunteers, and they were set up to kind of move in and help get things going. And you just kind of felt better when he got here and started talking about what they do, because I've got so many things on my mind. Trying to get the crop planted timely is my most important thing, but there's so many things I got to do before I can do that it takes a lot of the burden off of me to know someone's here that I can trust that's going to help me with that. I had not heard of Farm Rescue itself. My son had told me about the Anheuser-Busch promotion with the cans for Salute to the Farmer thing with the corn on them, and a lot of my neighbors talked about it. That was a major fundraiser for Farm Rescue, and I thought that was really neat. It's just a really nice thing, and everybody I've met with the group, they're all just really professional and dialed in on their mission here, and they're willing to do a lot of acres. It's almost as much as I farm. You're trying to kind of just survive as a family and get through all the turmoil of the disaster, and to have someone come in at the opportune time to help with the business, that's amazing. And the fact that it's not going to cost me anything other than the fuel is really amazing. We make all of our money in a few weeks in the spring and a few weeks in the fall, and getting it in the ground's crucial. At some point you need help. And something like this or some other crisis, just make a phone call. And these guys, they're just nothing but helpful. You know, their attitude is so positive. Number one, it just makes you feel better. Sometimes it's all I can do to just come down here and start the day because it's so overwhelming. Everything's, destroyed. So just having these guys around makes a big difference. So it's definitely worth the call. It can be a game changer for sure. I can't thank you enough. Words can't really describe what it feels like to have total strangers come hundreds of miles. For someone to leave their home and family to come help is amazing. It's just heartwarming, and it's good to know there's people like that in the world to help other people out.